Yo guys, what's going on? It's Rose here, bringing you guys a new draft league. This is gonna be the FBL. We're gonna be taking on this new draft league here for you. So I'm gonna have this draft analysis right here for you guys. There were 16 coaches in this singles draft league. We had the 13th overall pick, and with my first overall pick, I took Tapu Koko. It's a mon that I haven't used very much. I think I've only used it like once or twice. It's a mon, I don't think I've used it in Gen 8, and when I used it back in Gen 7, I didn't have a whole lot of success with it. But, you know, honestly, I'm excited to use it again. We're gonna have to see how this goes, but we took this with the 13th overall pick. Really honest, not entirely surprised it fell to me. Tapu Koko has kind of fallen off in recent. It's not as much of a first round pick as it used to be, but it's still very good. So I'm very excited to use that. With our next pick, I took a couple of mons as well in this draft that you're gonna see that were steals. And when I saw these like in lower point values, and when I said what they were point wise, some of the other coaches were like, "I'm sorry, fucking what?" I don't know. Next mon is Mega Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan is insane. It gets really good coverage, gets that parental mon. Obviously, there's no seismic toss in this, but all around, it's a really good mon. You see pretty much every stat is base 100 or higher, and you got the 125 base attack here. And then you take a look at its coverage, is amazing. Like, look at this coverage, it's insane. So I'm definitely really excited to use it. And even 60 special attack isn't completely unusable. If we have to use its special attack, at least it will do something. Not much, but something. And this thing was 10 points. And they allowed Power Up Punch and all this other fun shit. Like, why the fuck would you allow Power Up Punch Mega Kangaskhan for 10 points? I don't understand. Now, they did have some, like, S-tier Pokemon. Like, Darkrai was allowed with restrictions. Shaman Sky was allowed with restrictions. There was a whole bunch of different S-tier Pokemon that were allowed just with certain restrictions, which will be explained if and when we face them. I didn't take one. Originally I was going to. Then I talked to a good buddy of mine, Chu, who also does content. He does mostly Yu-Gi-Oh content. Talked to a good buddy of mine. I talked to him, and he said that one of the cores that he used to do when he primarily played Draft League was Mega Kangaskhan paired with our next pick. And when I told him that I would be paying basically nothing in terms of points to do this, he said, then fucking do it. Like, originally I had Shaman Sky, but then I saw that it wasn't allowed to have Seed Flare, which it's still good without Seed Flare, but it's not as. So it kind of, kept me away from that a little bit. But our next pick, Hoopa Unbound, man. 12-point Hoopa Unbound. How the fuck are you allowed to... Like, how are you gonna allow me to have this? What? I took this, and when I started putting in my point totals for, like, some of the mods I've been taking, I would be like, 10-point Mega Kangaskhan, 12-point Hoopa Unbound. What the fuck? Like, I would just be dumbfounded because, these are much better mods than what they're priced at. And they gave us a large budget, too. They gave us 120 points for 10 or 11 Pokemon. I believe we just went with 10. But still. Look at this. 160 attack, 170 special, 130 special defense, 80 speed. Like, this mon is it hits very hard. Its coverage isn't, it's solid coverage. Like, it gets good Energy Ball and Fire Punch and all this other stuff. It gets screens. But it is good. It's really good. I'm excited to use it. Definitely a mon I don't think I've used this, like, ever. I really don't think I've used this Pokemon, so this will definitely be a fun first experience. I might have used it once in Gen 7, but definitely not in Gen 8. So definitely excited to use it, though. It's really good. There's no restrictions on it either, which I think is interesting. There's no, like, why? Next mon on our team is it's a favorite of mine. I do like this mon a lot. it's one I've used before. I've actually made this mon kill leader, or this next mon, in a league where it went, I think in 7 or 8 games, it went like 14-2 or 14-3 or something like that. It did very well. And it ended up being kill leader. We have Honey Nut, the Volcanion. Now, excuse me while I do this. Volcanion's insane. You look at that 130 base special attack and you're thinking, wow. Fire and water type with an immunity to water, which is really nice for us. Our team doesn't appreciate water types too much, so having a really good switch into that is nice. Our team kind of has a little bit of a problem with breaking them outside of Coco. So it's definitely nice to have something that can just kind of sit in front of them. This thing, I mean, look at its stats. Its stats are insane. 110 attack as well is really good. That a lot of people like to do Flame Charge Volcanion. It's very common. It gets Defog, which is really nice. That's our first remover. Well, outside of Coco, it's our second remover because Coco gets Defog as well. But I mean, it gets a lot of things, Haze, and I mean, all these different mods or all these different moves. Even Weather Ball. So I know that there's someone that drafted a rain team, like full hard rain, and we fight them I think in like week 6 or 7. So that'll be interesting. But it gets Steam Eruption as well, which is just better. Just because it's basically 110 base power Scald. So it's just Scald but better. But yes, so next up, we have him on. I've used it like once or twice. And my buddy Jalen, who's edited a few of my videos, he used this relatively recently in a draft league of his. And now I was like, you know what? I'll use it. Got Buzzwole. Buzzwole's really good. It gets, I mean, its defensive stats are insane. 107 HP, 139 defense. Its special stats are obviously lackluster, but that's fine. It's not meant to be here as a specially defensive or specially attacking Pokemon. Leech, it gets Roost, it gets Toxic, which is really nice. Bulk Up, Counter. I mean, it gets all these different beautiful coverage moves that we're able to use, and use to our advantage, which is nice. So I'm definitely really excited to use this, and it's definitely going to come in handy. Next up is a mon I've used a few times. Haven't really had success with it, but I always, we're all about second chances here. You got Cupcake the Slurpuff. So Slurpuff here, it's really good all around. I think I just never was able to properly use it, because I always wanted to fit it in as either a defensive mon or a belly drum Pokemon, and I never kind of did a mix and match. But this thing is really nice. It gets Calm Mind, it gets Aromatherapy, which is really good. It's a Wish Passer as well. It gets Sticky Webs, Yawn, all that fun stuff. Plus, Belly Drum, Play Rough, and Drain Punch. It's just, it hits really, really hard when it needs to. When it's normally just like this, it doesn't hit very hard. But once you put in that base, you get that max attack adamant, and you get that +6, you're hitting pretty hard. Next up, I got this next mon in the 5th round. And I was surprised it fell to the 5th round because it's really good. It does have its limitations, but realistically, I think we're going to be able to play around those limitations really well. We got Lug Nug. Oh, this is actually supposed to be changed. This is Lug Nug, the Melmetal. Kind of similar to Buzzwole in the sense, it is very physically top heavy, but it does have a nice special attack stat, and I guess it's a slightly better special defense stat than Buzzwole. But this thing, it can, Air Defense Body Presses and all that fun stuff that it's just able to take advantage of. So it's definitely a mon that we're going to be using hopefully very frequently. I mean, and we're going to try and use it as best as we can. It is very slow, so we do potentially have a Trick Room option with this, and Buzzwole is like base 70-something speed. So we do have potential for Trick Room. Probably not going to do it, but it's always there. Next mon, I needed another remover, and I needed something relatively fast. So we took Cryogenol. Pretty decent mon. It has a really good special defense stat, good speed stat, good special attack stat. I mean, it is very solid. It's definitely the opposite of what Melmetal is. It's better on the special side, and it's faster. and it gets acid armor, haze, different rapid spin and defog, I think. Yeah, rapid spin and defog, which is amazing for us because it's giving you that rapid spin option is really helpful if we don't want to get rid of our own webs, or stealth rocks or anything like that. But yeah, so this is gonna be a mon that's not gonna necessarily come every week, but when it does, it's gonna show up for a specific reason, and once that reason is filled, it's gonna go bye-bye. Next up, we got Goodra. Goodra I got for 8 points, which I feel like is a little low. It's usually in like the 11 or 12 tier, from my understanding. So getting it for 8 points was amazing value in my opinion. Really good specially defensive mon, hits really hard, and it has a good speed stat. A respectable speed stat for a bulky Pokemon like this. Getting Blizzard and all these different fun coverage moves is going to really come in handy. Weather Ball as well. And it has honestly 3 good abilities. Sap Sipper, Hydration, and Gooey. None of these abilities are bad per se. Sap Sipper is definitely the best of the 3. Hydration is also really good if you're fighting rain, or you are using rain, because then you can just click rest and have no punishment. But definitely a mon that is going to be very helpful for us. Next up, we got Toolbelt the Rhyperior. Very physically top heavy. You're kind of seeing a pattern with our team. We have a lot of very physically top heavy and a lot of very special top heavy Pokemon. But still, this thing gets Solid Rock, which is amazing. Basically cuts its quad weak water immunity down to just like a normal water, or quad weak water into just like a regular weakness to water, which is nice. Gets Stealth Rocks. It can also be a sweeping option with like weakness policy and all that fun stuff. This is another mon that kind of functions well in Trick Room, so if we want to do that, we have that option. You can see it's plethora of coverage moves. So definitely really excited to use this thing. I haven't used it too much, but the times I have used it, I have had fun. So that's what we're looking for. And last but not least, we have Vileplume. You're going to see some EVs here. That was just to, I don't remember exactly why. But Vileplume for 6 points is incredible value. It should be a little bit higher from IMO. But Strength Sap, Leech Seed, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Aromatherapy, and it's a really good utility mon. It just sits here and says fuck you, and then you got its 110 special attack stat. So this could definitely come in handy. Plus, if we end up fighting Sun, or if you want to run Sun, we have Chlorophyll, so we can make this thing kind of a fucking problem for a lot of teams to deal with. So definitely something I'm looking forward to doing. Go ahead in the comments, give us an opinion on what you think we're going to end up at record-wise. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Also follow all my other socials in the description below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, have a good one, you guys.